Hello, and thank you for joining us. My name is Claire LaBeaux. I'm the Chief Advancement Officer at NASEF, the Network of Academic and Scholastic Esports Federations. We work with organizations all around the world, helping them to build out programs that blend play and learning, where youth can develop career skills in an environment that they love, which is esports. So I'm going to talk about this with my colleague here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin Brown. I am the Chief Academic Officer with NASEF. I have been here like Claire since the very beginning, the inception of NASEF in late 2017, early 2018. I have written all the base curriculum. Now I teach teachers how to take what we've written and we offer through NASEF and also how to augment their own teaching content and learning styles to use esports as this very elegant hook to drive student engagement, student interest, and to explore other career pathways in and through esports.
Perfect. Well, speaking of career pathways through esports, that's what we're going to talk about. A lot of people, when they think of a career related to esports, they think only of the gamer. And yet
Correct.
There is a wide variety of possibilities. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Just this diagram does it best. This is what convinced me all those years ago. Esports is not the player in the middle. That's the most obvious moving part. But without these four large domains, and I'll submit there's an invisible fifth one, physical and mental health and wellness. Without these domains and the kinds of work each one can bring to esports, this person in the middle cannot enjoy playing. It can't happen. If somebody doesn't think up a game, there's nothing to play. If somebody doesn't find a way to put it in a package and sell it to me, I can't access it, I can't play. Somebody doesn't teach me how to play it and tell me the rules and how a tournament functions, I got nowhere to play. And if there's no location, no setup for me to receive me and make me feel good about playing, I can't play. Esports needs all of this. And happily, in the States and in many places around the world, there are career training programs that aligns very smartly with this diagram that get people ready to find good careers in this field and others.
Yeah. And we've seen the esports industry grow massively over the last few years. I remember when we first started, we would say you can develop skills in esports and use them in another industry. Now it's equally likely that you're going to use them in esports as it is another industry. But still, there are so many skills that cross over. So when you think about developing a skill set in esports and then applying it in a different place, what comes to mind?
So each of these four domains, I'll keep going back to this, and I could pick any one of them. I'll start with the green. Pardon me. So content creation, what we see, that builds a game, and all of the pretty that we see and the reason why somebody wants to play a game. But beyond all of this, software development, shoutcasting, this unique idea that I can create a brand and teach people virtually what's going on when they see live action. This idea that there is fandom, art, and media, that there are content creators, people who find an aspect of the game crazily interesting, and they want to lean into that one thing. It could be cosplay, for example. We still see a lot of that, not just in Japan, but almost anywhere. When you love a character, you geek and you dress like the character. When you go to an event and that team is going to play your game, you're dressed like one of the monsters that's actually up there on stage getting beaten up. This is an important part of this tribe, this community that is esports. So all of these kinds of work extend out in and through esports. If you do something here, if you develop a game, you have art skills, you have coding skills, which can be used in Edwards Life Sciences, the guys who manufacture drugs. They do 3D modeling of the molecules of their drugs before they start manufacturing. So somebody's got to be the person to code and make it. Very game-like, but very tangential, very important. Event organizing. It's not just putting tournaments together. This is working in a hotel space. We have that exact same function. For 30 years I worked in hotels. This is a position that pays really well, that has a college degree bumped up against it. So you can become educated and do those kinds of things.
Yeah, there is a fantastic diagram that demonstrates just how large the esports industry is. And some of my favorite jobs that show up there that no one ever thinks to connect with esports, being a lawyer.
Yes.
So much contract law, immigration law. And the other one is physical trainer or nutritionist.
Doctors,
because
yes.
a lot of people think, oh, esports, what's the old view of someone in the basement eating hot Cheetos and drinking Red Bull and, not being healthy at all. No, the pro teams and the college teams, they all have trainers because this is a physical discipline as much as it is a mental discipline. So there is certainly a huge variety of opportunity, whatever your niche is that you find interest in, to pursue.
That's it.
Yeah. So if someone is trying to figure out what role to pursue, what advice do you have?
So dip in. What we say in NASEF all the time is you got to start a club. Very first thing, what makes NASEF different from any other industry or any other organization out there promoting esports of any kind, almost all of them focus on the play. It's competition because that's the interesting part. Is there money involved? Will I get famous? Will I see my name in lights? But our model is, yeah, you can play or not. But we want you to develop this structure because you need all of this, again, to support that player in the middle. So this is the testing ground. The club is a laboratory where you can experiment. If you think you're kind of funny, if you really know a game really well and you're not afraid of getting out on a camera and talking about it in an engaging way, you might be a shoutcaster. So let's go try that. And like we were saying before, what if I don't like it? I thought I was funny and good, cool, but I got nobody following me online. Okay, maybe now, but I still know computers really well. So maybe I'm living over here in this IT support realm. And if it wasn't for me, we wouldn't have all the patch notes and the computers wouldn't be ready for play. And that's maybe a better fit for me.
And I think an important part of applying now, whether it's colleges or jobs, is having a portfolio and demonstrating your ability to do something. And that is one thing that esports is fantastic for, because if you're a shoutcaster or a streamer, you have links to videos that you've done.
Right.
If you organize a tournament, you can demonstrate, here's the tournament we had and the number of players and that kind of thing. And portfolios are very important. When I was young, you only needed a portfolio if you were trying to be a CEO of a company. But now you need a portfolio for everything. And so the public nature of esports really lends itself to having those work samples available.
That's it. Portfolio, maybe I'd sub in the term demonstrable skill set. When I think of portfolio, I teach kids at an arts college, and their portfolio, if it's culinary, is not only do I want to see pictures of what you think you said you created, I'm going to invite you to my kitchen and I'm going to give you an hour and a bunch of ingredients and I want you to make it because I'm going to taste it. Demonstrable skills. Esports, same thing. Don't just show me, I'm going to drop you into a tournament. Let me see what you do. Or there's a problem with the computer. I want you to diagnose it because we go live in 15 minutes. Get in there. This becomes very important. I think it's better than a resume. People don't care so much what you can write about. ChatGPT can create your resume, but you show me you've got a solid skill set or portfolio of things you have done and can do, I'm going to consider you.
Right. Well, interesting reference to ChatGPT and AI. There are all these new technologies that are coming out that are impacting every aspect of the world. And if you could muse for a second about where esports is headed in the future, what do you think the career opportunities might be moving forward?
I'm hoping it does stay in this larger pool. Again, what we call that Candy Crush slide that shows this year 120 different kinds of jobs, very radically different, that come from this little tiny diagram. These are 16 kinds of careers, and it can tease out to a factor of 10. There are jobs coming that we can't even begin to understand right now. The industry will tell us what it needs, but unless you're in this, doing this, you're not doing the groundwork to be able to adapt and pivot and get ready to do that next new job. So if you're technologically savvy, good. You're understanding where AI might be going with this, how it might help you create graphics and things on the fly, but you got to know what you're doing to do it. Conversely, if you don't see what the market's like, it's a $9.5 billion industry this year. We don't know where the new surge is going to be. If China, if India, Bangladesh, if one of these large population centers suddenly blossoms and everybody's on to a game, add a zero. Those numbers are going to go up exponentially, and you better be ready to deal with that business. What does that mean in terms of banking? Is it crypto? Is it not? How are we going to do all these things? We got to figure it out. Pardon me.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And I think one of the most important things that I see is an ability and an interest in learning and developing continually. Not anymore do you learn a skill and now I know how to program so that a computer runs DOS. And then as soon as we evolve from DOS, now
Right.
that's not an applicable skill anymore. Now it's
Right.
more about, because everything changes so quickly, having a mindset and an attitude that says, how am I going to learn the next thing? And how am I going to lead my organization towards the next thing as well?
That's it. Truly, the word entrepreneurial, I've always classified it as not just somebody who likes successes, but who's a serial fail artist.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs know how to get to a make or break point, pivot, and make a decision, keep investing money and time, or pitch it and let's go with another idea. So that mindset, to be nimble, to react to a market or a thought or a population of people that say, I want to go this and not this, not just trend following, but be able to read where we're going, is a mission critical skill. So again, problem solving, diagnostics, decision making, these are the soft skills that industries want that we're not really teaching in the classroom, not as much as we should be, I think. But esports can definitely put you in the path of that.
Right. Absolutely. So a little retrospective for our last question. Imagine that you're giving advice to your 14-year-old self, or I know you teach all the time, so it could be the advice that you give to your students. What do you think is important thinking about success and careers?
Maybe two things. I like what my kids taught me, which is who's esports for? And they give me 4 words: all minds, all kinds. There is no limit. There's no demographic where esports lives. There's no right kind of player or right kind of person. It's any person, with or without or extra of, who cares? All minds, all kinds. If you love this idea, you're in it. So I would say, because I was very introverted, very shy when I was young, I didn't get involved in a lot of clubs, a few sports, but again, solo sports. I wasn't a big guy, but if I saw something like this, I might be more likely to come in and try. It doesn't feel so adversarial. On the other side, I'd say fail a lot, try a lot of things. Be entrepreneurial, be willing to risk and fail, because wisdom gives you experience, but failure gives you that experience too. So you need to figure out what you're good at, what you're not, what you like, what you don't, where things work. Be okay with failing. We put too much attention these days on grade points and things like this, and not about the qualitative experience of doing something, going, it's hard, but this is my jam, I want to do it, or I tried my best and I'm still not good, but there are other things I can do, and I'm not held, I'm not penalized because I'm not as good as I thought.
Right.
So
Right.
be open-minded, be okay to fail.
Yeah, I think mine is very similar. Failure is a really important part of success. And we don't coach that. We coach the success, and we forget to say, oh, if you tried 18 times and you're successful on 19, we tend to focus on the number 19. Right. It took a lot of tries. That's okay. And I think also communicate. Something about working for a boss and being afraid to fail. If you can communicate, I'm going to try this. This is something that we're trying. You're setting yourself up for a collaborative effort rather than I must do this to accomplish. So I think open communication with the people around you is also really important in esports, as in any industry. So yeah, this has been a great conversation looking at career pathways. How can you get there? What should your vision be? Thanks for sharing your time. And if you have any questions about NASEF or Scholastic Esports, you can find us at nasef.org.